continues to rise, with more than 1,300 in Israel and over 1,900 in Gaza.
They tell him about the Hamas attack against communities here that triggered this war. Are you ready? He asked.
This is where it all begins.
Hi everyone, it's Olivia Posh and we are back again with another story. So today we'll be talking about a very sad situation that has been happening for quite a while now, and it's about the conflict between Israel and Palestine. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be asking what even brought about this problem that we've been having, this issue and this conflict between Israel and Palestine. Why is it that they're always fighting? What could be the cause? Why is it that this situation has not been resolved since it started? What even brought about them being in conflict? What even brought about them being together to the point that they have to start fighting? So that's what we're talking about today. Long ago, the Jews decided that they needed a country to call their own, and so they decided to go to their ancestral land. You know, in the Bible where they say Canaan, the holy land, the land filled with milk and honey. So that is where they hope, that is where they had believed for years that this is their ancestral home.
This happened around 1000 BC, before the birth of Christ. And it continued on with his son Solomon, who built the first Jewish temple. And Solomon built this temple in Jerusalem. This is where it all begins. This temple is part of the Jewish claim to the land of Israel. According to the Jews, this temple and this land belongs to them. According to the promise,
90% of the Jews were in Europe then, so they didn't want to remain there in another man's country, so they decided to go back to their ancestral home to go and settle down and have their own country and have a place to call their country. As at the time they have arrived at their ancestral home, in quotes, they realized that a lot of people have settled there, like some people have made there their home, so they decided to settle down. They all arrived at Zionism, which in today, when you say a Zionist is someone that believes in supporting and the protection of Israelites. They actually decided to leave because of two reasons. The first reason is because of too much persecution that they experienced. And then the second reason was because they've already started seeing development. They've started seeing that, okay, these people can become a nation, or these people can do this, these people can do that. So they realized that actually we could go back to a place and make that place our nation. Between 1896 and 1948, the Jews decided to leave Europe and head back to their ancestral home. On getting there, they realized that their ancestral home has people there who are the Palestinians, and the British were in control of them as of that time. British colonized Palestine. This resettlement also included a large number of Jewish people who were a victim of the Holocaust in the Europe and had been moved out, had been chased out. So they too joined in resettling in the British controlled Palestine. Remember that the Holocaust that happened was a genocide of millions, about 6 million of Jews by the Nazi Germany and its collaborators, and they murdered a lot of Jews as of 1941 to 1945, which was around 2/3 of Jewish population. So many Arabs saw the influx of Jewish people and felt it was a colonial movement and fought it bitterly. There was just violence everywhere. So the British, who was in control of Palestine as of then, they couldn't control the violence. In 1947, the United Nations decided to split the land into two countries. Almost 650 Jews went to the Blue Territory, while the Arabs went to the Orange Territory, which Arabs were almost twice the number of the Jews. So the Jewish residents accepted the deal, but the Arab residents, the Arab community, rejected it. The Palestinians, who saw it as a way that the Jews could be able to still come and push them out of the land, rejected this proposal. So when I talk about the Jews, the Arab, Israel and Palestine, someone that doesn't understand it would think they are different people. Most Palestinians were Arabians, and then most Israelites were Jews. They declared a war on Israel with other Arabian countries like Iran and Syria, and they fought Israelites. They ended the war with Israelites winning the war. So they took over everything except the West Bank, the east quarters of Jerusalem, as well as the Gaza Strip. Before then, the partition that the United Nations had promised them, they promised them that 56% of the land will go to the Israel. Meanwhile, the rest will get to them. But then after the war, the Israel was able to secure 77% of the land. Ever since then, Palestine and Israel has been on war, from one problem to another, from one conflict to another. But if you check it back to the history, you will see that the problem has actually been coming from the fact that the two of them can't stay in one land. They cannot. Which is Israel, is saying that no, this place is our ancestral home, allow us to be here. Palestinians are saying no, this is our place, we are going to chase you guys out of this place, you are not allowed to be here, you are going to take more and more of our land. Remember the case of Jerusalem, where they said that the Jerusalem shouldn't be just for the Israel, that it is that Jerusalem should be for everybody, both the Palestinians and the Israel, because they were there before the Israelites came. But then the Israel said no, that this is for them. So these are the issues they've been having. October 7th, 2023, when the recent conflict broke out between the both of them, what happened was that Hamas, which is termed a terrorist group in the Palestine, decided to fire arms surprisingly to the Israelite people.
Major breaking news coming out of Israel as Hamas has launched a massive surprise attack against Israel in what has been described as an all-out war. The Palestinian armed group Hamas has launched Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, a massive land, sea and air attack against Israel early on Saturday.
Remember that this Gaza-Hamas conflict has been going on for years. Since 2006 it has been going on. So someone would ask, what is Hamas? Where is Hamas coming from? What is Gaza? Hamas is a group in Palestine. It's like, which was a terrorist group because they've been terrorizing Israel for the longest time, since 2006. So it's a group, a militant group in Palestine. But then people are saying this militant group, this group that has been termed a terrorist group, was approved by the Palestine government. How is it that it's a terrorist group, but the Palestine government let it to live, let it to thrive, and attack Israel? Meanwhile, they all know that Palestinians in general have never been happy that Israel have or share their land with them. So the Hamas insisted that Israel are occupying power, and their operation, their aim of being a militant group is to take that power from Israel. So they've been doing everything possible within their reach to take that power from Israel. On October 7th, we heard that the militants from Palestine, which are called the Hamas, fired rockets into Israel border. They sent militants into deep Israel territory, and gunmen from Palestine, the militants, killed about 1,400 Israelites and took hostage of about 199 people. The Israel Authority confirmed this. Gaza Strip was a section of the land where Hamas controlled. It's just like a landmass where Hamas controlled. Israel decided to retaliate. They decided to fight back. So they started from where Hamas forces were and cleared all of them, and then decided to send airstrikes into Gaza, called it Operation Sword of Iron, which killed about 4,000 something Palestinians. The major problem is actually coming from the fact that the Israel decided to block all the roads that led to importation of goods, foods, water supply, fuel, and the rest of them. So the Palestinians can't access even those that have not been affected by all of them have been affected by the war in one way or the other. Those that still surviving the conflict still had issues with what are they going to eat, which what are they going to drink, fuel scarcity. There was nothing. That became a problem, and that was even a major problem, because as time goes on, people will start dying of hunger, people will start dying of thirst, hospitals will start being shut down because there is no power supply. People are not even talking about the conflict that's been going on between the both of them. They are now talking about how are these people going to survive, because the retaliation was a very strong one. There were just a lot of opinions from people. Some people are supporting the Palestine. Some people said no, they're supporting the Israel. Why would the Palestine fire first? Why would the Israel just be on their own and all of a sudden they are being attacked and killed? So what do they expect from them? They're supposed to retaliate. Other side of people that say they're supporting the Palestine, they said no, that Israel, when they were in Europe, they experienced Holocaust. It's just like doubling the Holocaust experience and giving it to somebody else. Why is it that they experienced pain and want to inflict others with pain? Why is it that they need to suffer a lot of people because of this conflict? And it's not like the conflict is coming from the entire Palestine. It was coming from the terrorist group. Then other people with their opinion are saying that this terrorist group was approved by the Palestine government, so anything they are doing should be like a generalized quote that it is the Palestinians that are causing this, not a terrorist group, because if it is a terrorist group, it's not supposed to be acceptable by the Palestinians. They has called for Israel downfall and has regarded Israel as an illegitimate state. That school of thought are saying, look, these people have been here, they've come to stay. Let's assume you push them out. Let's assume the Palestinians push out the Israel. Where are they going to? Because there is no other place they could call home. So the best thing they could do is to actually accommodate these people and then see a way to sort themselves out and share whatever landmass that they have between the both of them, so everybody will live in peace and harmony. But it's not that easy. People could want to fight for what they think is there. The Palestinians and the Israel who live in this land are scattered in different places. How do they expect them to share this land? All these things are different opinions and from different people. A lot of people are saying no, that the Israels, that they are so cruel. Why is it that they attacked with so much force? This is not what, just a whole lot of opinions, But then people are dying every day. People are dying in Palestine, people are dying in Israel. Let's assume that this war ends and this issue has not been resolved. Another war might still break out, because these people, behind their mind or their thinking, it's just like knowing that your ancestors were killed by this certain kind of people. And when you are coming up, they tell you that see what they did to you. You would always have that bad feeling about them. It's natural. It's natural. It happens everywhere. When there is a war between a particular country and another country, you see that even after some years, people still remember that and go back to, cause harm on other people so they could feel the pain they felt. So this has been going on for a while now, and the world is just are we going to keep continuing from one problem to another? We just recently saw the issue of Ukraine. So the fear of humanitarian crisis was heightened when the Israel decided to cut off food, they decided to cut off water, they decided to cut off fuel from the Palestinians until they release the people that they kidnapped, because they actually, when they attacked Israel, they kidnapped some of the Israel people. They kidnapped them, they murdered a lot of them. The Israel are saying that they have to release those people that they kidnapped, those people that they are holding hostage, before they can be able to open the blockades and allow food and every other facility that is being needed by the Palestinians to come in. The Palestinians they have more than half of refugees in their place right now. They don't have a place to live, and Israel is also warning those that stay, the Palestinians that are living in Gaza Strip, to move unless they are going to invade that place. And it is, the population of people there are about 1.1 million people, and they are saying, where else would they go to? You can as well just kill us, because there is no other place to go to. Where are we going to? So a lot of people are just saying, you guys are causing crime, this is crisis against humanity, and it has to stop as fast as possible. So what are we saying? Everybody with their own opinion. Nobody knows which one is right. Nobody knows which one to just move with. Everybody just have a different opinion. But we're just clamoring and we are praying for peace and unity in this world. So stop fighting. Nobody feels good where there is war. Nobody is happy. There is tears, there is cry, there is pain when there is war. So we are all praying and we are all hoping that there is peace in this world.